Hi everybody, it's Tina. Welcome to our Facebook Live from Tina's craft room. It's Friday afternoon. Well, it's really Friday morning. That was an afterthought. That intro was an afterthought. Hey Chris, hey Tammy. Hello, hello. Okay. So if you're on a mobile device, you can click the screen and all of the supplies are going to be listed. I will have a PDF for you guys after my live here. Okay, I'll put it together. And I also have not put together Wednesday's PDF. I'm going to do that this afternoon. I have plans, guys. I promise you. Okay, so today we're doing a project and I am desperate for fall and winter, and I'm tired of these summer this summer weather. I'm tired of 80-degree days. I want snow, I want rain, I want cold. So if you can't have that in real life, my mom's watching. My mom is here. She's upstairs in the living room. And she's watching. Hi, Mom. Hey Debbie. So if you can't have it in real life, we're just gonna have to stamp about it. We're gonna use Spirited Snowman today. So fun, right? So if I can't have snow, if I can't have decent fall weather, if I can't have hot chocolate and snowmen, we'll just have to stamp about it. Instead of crying about it, we'll have to stamp about it. So we're using this, and then you guys were also using these dies. Now these dies are not available unless you purchase your starter kit. When you purchase your starter kit, you can add these dies to your starter kit, and it is totally worth it because they're beautiful. Okay, so let me see a few things that are going on. Let's see, today's Friday, I'm doing my live. There's no post over on my website. I'm just a little bit behind, you guys. I'm a little bit, tiny bit behind. I'm going to get caught up today. I have a plan to work a good amount today. Oh my gosh, Chris is playing with these dies right now. How fun. They are gorgeous, you guys. They're just gorgeous. I love them. So I'll get all caught up today. I'll get Hello Christmas for week 2. For yesterday, I'll get that posted today, and I'll get the PDFs out to you guys, okay? But I want to stamp, and I had a whole other project planned, and then I switched it up at the last minute. So this is gonna be quite the card. Okay, so we're gonna use Spirited Snowman. I'm using this guy right here, I think. I think that could change. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use Tranquil Tide, which I have not been using that much. I tend to kind of move through my cardstock and my colors kind of in seasons where I'm usually using the subtles and the brights in summertime and spring, and then I tend to use my regals and neutrals during the fall and the winter. So, and then the end colors kind of fall in, you know, wherever. And I just realized I haven't been using Tranquil Tide as much as I would like. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me show you how I've started out, because I've done a couple things. I was trying to figure some things out right before we went live. So the first thing I have is a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And remember, when you're making a card base, all you have to do is cut your cardstock in half. So this time I've cut my cardstock in half at 4 1/4. And then that is going to give me this, an A2 size card. Then what I did is I took a piece of Tranquil Tide, and you guys, I took the tiniest sliver off this. Like, it's not even really a measurement. I literally just like slivered it off. I just wanted a tiny bit of the white showing. And the reason I did that is because when I cut this layer, what I realized is a tiny bit of the white was showing up here, and they just weren't maybe lined up perfect. Hey Pam, hey Mary. So I just wanted to make that like it was supposed to, like it wasn't, like it was meant to be that way. So I literally just slivered off the cardstock. I mean, you can barely see a white border. But I felt like if I did that, then it would be even all the way around and it would look more like it was supposed to be there. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to layer this Tranquil Tide piece on here, and it's a little bit hard to layer on there because like I said, there's barely a border. Do you guys see that? I mean, it's not even really anything. Okay, so here's where things get tricky. So this is our shimmery white cardstock, and can you guys see how there's just like this circle of embossed polka dots? I can't tell if you guys can see that. Maybe right there. Can you see that? And then this is the shimmery white cardstock. So let me show you how I did this. I wanted this embossed part over here on this side. And I know that they have those things, they're called diffusers. And they look, I mean, somewhat, I thought I would just try to make it myself. And so I thought, okay, I know that there's a way and there's a product that is sold that you put in your embossing folder and then it will only emboss certain parts, but I've never seen one in person, so I wasn't sure how to get that look. So the first thing I tried was this. I took my 2.5-inch punch, I punched circles through a couple pieces of cardstock, and then I glued those together. And then I put my pieces in here. Let me see if I still have the, I don't know what, oh, right here it is. So I put this in here, and then I put my cardstock in here, and I ran it through my Big Shot, okay? So what came out was this. So it embossed everywhere except where that circle was, okay? So I was like, okay, that's sort of the right idea, but I need it opposite, so how would I do that? So then I was like, well, I think I need to stack up the circles and put my, are you guys following what my thought process was? So then I was like, okay, so what I think I need to do is put my cardstock in and then have the circles, and then I was thinking, okay, if this works, then when I flip it over, it'll be on this side. So that's what I did. I had these circles, I put them in here, I ran this all through my Big Shot. I took it out and got this piece. So it's only embossed here. There was a little bit of embossing right here and a little bit right here. So what I did is I took my bone folder and I just ran it over the cardstock to get that design, that impression out of there. But then I was like, I want it raised, so when I flip it over, it's gonna be not raised, it'll be sunk in. So does that make sense, you guys? That is what happened to get this design. So what I'm thinking is, I need one of those diffuser things. I need to look into it. I need to maybe watch a video on how they work, because I could maybe possibly make my own, but I wasn't positive exactly how it worked. So anyways, this is where we're at. And you know what I forgot to do? Will this come up? Will it come up around the edges? I wanted to do one other thing to this. Okay, so it will sort of come up. Okay, so we have our Tranquil Tide ink. We're going to try to make this work. And I have a sponge dauber. So what I want to do is I really wanted to sponge the edges of this. And I think the edges are up enough that this will work. I usually have a plan laid out for the cards that I'm sharing with you guys, and this one, I just kind of wanted to do this. And so I don't have a sample made like I usually do, so we're just gonna go with it. Sometimes you just gotta try things. You guys just gotta dive in and try things. So I'm just taking that Tranquil Tide and I'm giving a really dark edge. This isn't gonna matter because it's gonna be covered up. We're gonna have that white layer on this. But I really want these edges really, really dark. And I wanna get the sponge dauber in this Tranquil Tide because of the technique that we're gonna do next. And this may be a long live, you guys, because I think I'm even gonna do some heat embossing. I've really been wanting to make this card. So we're going to do it. So that's the other reason I'm not too worried about if this is pulling that up because it's going to be covered. Okay. So I want to make sure that I don't have any ink on my hands for this next part. So this is the shimmery white. And it's going to layer on here. So I just wanted that really dark edge. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the sponge dauber that now I already have ink on, and we're very carefully and very lightly, I mean, I'm going to try to be so light with this. In fact, I'm going to practice on this. See, yeah, that's too much ink. I really don't want that much ink. Okay, so I'm actually glad I have these now. That worked out. I still feel like that's too much. Now we're getting somewhere. Hey, Kayla Bug. Kayla is my oldest daughter. She's up with my mom. Okay, so I am just, I mean, the lightest, I mean, I'm just trying to be so light and let the edges of that embossed pick up. Can you guys see that color? See, I twisted my thing and that was too much color. It's okay. We're going to do some layers. But do you guys get the idea that I'm just trying to get the lightest color on there? Okay, you guys see that? Can you see that on camera? The lighting, you know, I struggle a little bit with this lighting. Hey, Emma. Okay, so you guys see that? Barely has any color on it. I mean, it just barely, I just barely touched it. So have some scratch paper and get your ink off, and especially like around the edges, because the ink is going to kind of pull up on that. See how dark that is around the edges? So if you do that, and then you can just lightly brush your embossed pieces and it's going to grab that ink. Okay, so you have that piece. Now we've inked the edges of our cardstock and now we can layer this. Now I'm pretty sure it's fine to layer this. I'm trying to think about my card design in my head here. I think let's pop this up. Let's pop this piece up. Okay, so this is the boring part, right? Because we're live, you guys got to watch me do this. I really need to get some 3M tape. But I want a lot of these because I don't want them to fall down in the middle. Okay. So then we're going to do Chris's trick where we press our nail into the middle of the dimensional so that we can grab that and pull them off. So this card is a much more complicated card than I really like doing. You guys know I'm pretty simple. I like to keep the layers simple, the idea simple. But this is also going to have a lot of white space, which is one of my favorite kinds of cards, is to have a lot of white space. I'm not, I don't like a lot of layers. And on Wednesday, we did a card that had a lot of layers. And I said on the card on Wednesday, like, I don't know how I feel about this card because it has layers and it's a lot. But this card, this idea for this card, if it turns out the way it's in my head, I think we'll have lots of white space and will be very beautiful. So we'll layer this right in the middle, and then you can see because of the way the layers are, I mean, that Tranquil Tide is hardly any at all. And it's a little bit like there's a little bit more of a layer on these sides than on this, but it's okay. This isn't Hallmark, it's homemade, right? Okay, so now I've cut a bunch of these snowflakes, and I've cut them from that same shimmery white cardstock. So when I ran these through my Big Shot, I had to use a shim, which is just when you put like a piece of cardstock or an extra layer in between your plates and your dies so that you have more pressure. Every Big Shot is different. So you may not, you know, Chris may not need a shim when she's cutting hers. So she's playing with these snowflakes right now, she said. So she may not need to have a shim. So every Big Shot is different. And you just got to play around with it and do it a couple times. The first ones I cut, let me see if I have that piece. The first ones I cut, the first time they didn't all cut out. So see how that didn't cut out all the way? Emma, this bundle is only, it's not in the catalogs right now. I'll send you the item number. Or maybe Chris can send you the item number. She can text you the item number for the product. So this is only available for demonstrators. Emma and Chris are both part of our Stampin' Up team. And so these snowflakes right now are only available for demonstrators. We're in a pre-order state. And if you want them, you can add them to your starter kit. So I'm just taking that same Tranquil Tide sponge dauber and I'm going around the edges of my snowflake. Now, I don't want a lot of color on there. I just want a tiny bit of color, and I haven't even dipped this back into my ink. I really am trying to just use the ink that is on there because I want this to be really faint. A trick when you're working with white or you're working with snow or snowman, a lot of times you'll see people, when they're coloring, you'll see people add blue or gray to like the snowman area to add shading or to get it, you know, to have that shading effect. And that's kind of what I want. We're going to layer these down and I want there to be a little bit of a shadowed effect. Thank you, Chris, for sending that. I meant to have my flyer next to me for this live, but I actually think I threw the flyer away when I unpacked from my class. So that's all I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of color. I told you guys this live might be really long because I'm doing a whole bunch of these other techniques I usually don't do. And I don't know that I'm going to use all of these snowflakes, but I'm definitely going to ink these just so that I don't have to stop and re-ink more. Okay, so you guys see those snowflakes? Aren't they beautiful? Okay, so let's bring our card back over. Okay, so the idea for this card is we're going to have this. Maybe I should do my embossing next. Where's my little nail file? I'm just cleaning up the edges of my cardstock. I've been cutting a lot the last few days and I need to change my blades. Okay, So I want this to be here. And I want the snowman guy to go, we're going to stamp him and color him, and I want him to go here. And then I want some snowflakes layered. So what I think I'm going to do, and I want some of this to show, I don't want to go through all that work with this and not have anything show. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to grab our liquid glue, and the best thing to do is to, you know that saying they say, measure twice, cut once. Well, let's layer these together and lay them out once and glue, you know, or twice. Let's figure out how exactly we want these. And then we'll glue once, because you just saw it was a bit of a nightmare pulling that up to ink it. So, and then if my snowman is here, oh, sorry guys, I just sneezed. So this is what I'm thinking for my snowflakes. So let's take these snowflakes, and what you're going to do is just use a little bit of this liquid glue. This liquid glue is so sticky, you guys. I hate getting it on my hands. I just do a couple dots kind of in a few places. And then go ahead and stick it down. And then you can see the edges of these snowflakes. Let's get our pick tool out. So you can see that the edges of these, I didn't get a lot of glue on the edges, and I want them to kind of lift up off the paper, because it just gives you more of a, thank you, Chris. It gives more texture to this card. So the same thing, we'll just add some glue here. Oh, you know the item number for these snowflake dies are in the description too. I did put the dies. I didn't put the stamp sets that are available, and I don't know if it comes in a bundle. But the dies are listed in the description. If you're on a mobile device, you can just tap your screen and all that information will come up. Okay, so we might add more snowflakes in a few minutes, but I want to get some stamping and coloring done here. So we're going to grab some Whisper White cardstock. Chris says it does not come in a bundle, so you have to get all the pieces individually. So if anybody is wanting to purchase the starter kit and you want the item numbers for the stamp set and the dies, let me know and I'll help you. Okay, so we're going to use Memento black ink. We're going to ink up this little snowman dude. And he's supposed to look a little fuzzy. Can you guys see that? He looks a little tiny bit fuzzy. So we'll make sure that ink dries, and then we're going to use our markers. I am going to use my alcohol markers. And I always think this, to me, looks like Gorgeous Grape or Highland Heather, but apparently it's Blackberry Bliss. So I'm not sure which ones I want to use. I think I'm going to use, I'm not going to be doing a lot of blending or layering of color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these alcohol markers because you can stack the color. So what that means is you can color like this, and then you can add more color to that and it's going to get darker. And then you can add more color and it's going to get darker. So that's one of the reasons I like to use these markers, is because even just having one marker, you can get more color out of it. So this is a very small area, and I don't necessarily really like coloring a small area, but with these alcohol markers, if you're really careful and you have a really light hand, you can really get several looks by having these. So that's why I'm using them for this project. Okay, so you see how I did that, and then I'll go back and I'll just add some darker color, and it'll give me a nice kind of blended, layered look. So I'm just adding a little bit more color towards the top of the image, and I'm barely touching that cardstock, okay? And then I think I'm gonna do this too. So again, we're gonna let that dry, and then we'll come back in and we'll add just a little bit more to the top. And it's gonna give us this nice look. Okay, so then let's go ahead and do black. Whoops, what color is this? I think we'll need this crumb cake. Okay, so then we'll do his boots. And again, I'm gonna do the same thing where instead of just having them be black, what I'll do is I'll color them here. I don't know, it might not necessarily work with black. It's such a dark, deep color. It might not. Can black get darker? Is that a question? And then let's just do his buttons. Just easier maybe to use these. Okay. So then what color is going to go with the purple and the Tranquil Tide is my question to you guys. I'm using crumb cake to do his little arms, but I need another color that's going to go with this purple, but that will go with Tranquil Tide. I don't think we have Tranquil Tide. What's this? Do we have Tranquil Tide markers? Nope, that's shaded Spruce. Okay, and then I need an orange. Hey, Amanda. Any ideas on what color I can do with the purple here? I'm gonna do the same thing. This orange is pumpkin pie. It's the dark pumpkin pie. So I'm gonna go over this several times to give it some real depth of color. And then do you think this part needs to be purple? I'm thinking that part needs to be purple too. And so this is gonna be, I definitely can do some blending on this part. So we'll bring our dark in first, and I'm gonna go from the edges, and then I'm gonna bring my light color in, and we'll start in the dark color and we'll pull just like that. Are these the same colors? Yep, Highland Heather. So I'll let that dry for a minute, and then I'll come back in and do the same thing. And I kind of got into the little snowman's head, a warm yellow. Okay, let's try that. So I think I just have, is this, oh, so this is an orange, but it looks yellow. Does this go? Let's try it. So do you think that color? I don't know that a red or pinkish would really go with that purple. Dark Bermuda. Oh, good call. Okay, so here is dark Bermuda Bay. And I can probably darken that up. Good call. So the only thing that I'm not loving is I really got a little heavy-handed with that purple. And it really, really bled into the snowman's head. I was doing so good with this coloring situation. Okay. Well, I don't really think I have a way to fix it. Okay, so I'm adding some more color here. I'm just darkening up the Bermuda Bay. And we have like a color lifter. And I don't, will that do anything? I feel like that makes it bleed more. I don't know that that really helped it, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, so, and I'm not all that happy with my crumb cake arms there, but we're gonna have to go with it. Okay, so now we're gonna fussy cut this little dude out. And I'm getting pretty close. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna get even closer. I'm gonna try to do this so there's no white border. And that, I think, is a tiny bit brave. Usually I just make it to where there's a little bit of a white border and we call it good, but so real super close. Sorry I can't edit this part out, guys. Oh, I should do his little legs too, a color. Oh, this is getting scary. Don't break his little legs. Okay, so at this point, I always feel like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I never should have started fussy cutting this. What do? I freak out. But there's always a way to make it look okay. Okay, this is gonna be the last tricky part. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to take our black alcohol marker and we're gonna run this along the edges and it's gonna cover up any white spots and it's gonna make it look like we did a great job fussy cutting it, even if we didn't. Here is where I thought I would leave a little bit of a white border, so we'll go in a little closer. So this is like cheating. Nobody will ever know. You can do this with a Sharpie. You can do this with one of our writer markers. A Sharpie is what I usually use, but I have my alcohol marker right here, so it's a tiny bit tedious, but it's gonna make your image, if you have to fussy cut something, look snazzy. I didn't do a great job cutting his boots out. But see what a difference that makes? Oh, crap. Look at that. will. See, if I wasn't doing a live video, I'd be like, okay, got to start over. And I would start the whole process over. Okay, our snowflakes are there. Sorry that I said crap. It's probably not proper to say that on a video. I apologize. We're going to trim off that snowflake. Okay, so now we're not even done yet, guys. I told you I was in the mood to craft. Okay. So now I'm just going to take this strip, and this is where we're going to put our sentiment. And let's see if it works good with craft ink. So where's my stamp set? Okay, so we're going to use this sentiment that says, "Your friendship warms my heart." Your friendship warms my heart. Another block. Let's use some craft white ink and see if that, oh, you know, I have Stays On. I have Stays On white. Which I think is dry. I think both of these are probably dry. Yeah, Stays On tends to dry out so quickly. Okay. Well, let's just use craft ink and see if I can get a really good impression here. So this is just white ink. Okay, let's try it. Hopefully I'm centered. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to heat emboss. That's just how it's gonna have to be, because I've put too much work into this card. Okay, so let's grab our heat embossing stuff. If you guys could see my desk right now. Okay. So we're going to start by adding some powder to this cardstock so that the embossing powder only sticks to where we want it to stick to. We're going to use our sticky ink. That's clean enough. So we're using our sticky ink. Can everybody see? Then we're going to use our embossing powder. And then that did pretty good. I'll set this aside. My hot glue gun is plugged in. My camera's plugged in. My heat tool's now out. This is a crazy mess. Okay, so then if I had any embossing powder that got somewhere I didn't want it to, I could just clean it up with my brush. Okay, so now I gotta heat set this. Okay, so now that is nice and crisp, right? That looks much better. Okay, so then we'll take the trimmer. That's kind of what I was afraid of. I feel like it is a little... I didn't trim it as much as I would like. I feel like it's kind of crooked. Yeah, it's too much. So we're gonna do this. And it is crooked. Look at that. I knew I could see it was crooked by a lot. What in the world was I thinking? I got to be a little bit of a perfectionist now because this card has been a labor of love. Where's my X-Acto knife? There it is. Okay, and then I'll just use my snips, which are where? Right here. Deborah says, so I said in my description, I said, who wants to have me over? The requirements are you have to have snow, you have to have hot chocolate, and you have to be willing to craft all night. So Deborah said, Ohio, snow, check. All night craft, check. Hot cocoa, check. I'll be there, Deborah. I want winter, you guys. I would settle for fall. Maybe I don't want winter. Maybe I don't want to dive into winter so quickly. But I do freaking want some cooler weather. I'm going to get riled up. I better not. Okay. So now, where's my snips? Why am I losing everything? I'm losing my mind. Okay. So we're going to put our little snowman dude right here, and we're going to tuck our sentiment in. So let's put dimensionals on our snowman dude. Let's put some adhesive on here. And let's get all this together. Hey, Bobby. Okay. So I want this. Oh, this is going to work out great. I'm going to tuck this even under and over my snowflake. I'm going to, well, I was thinking that that looked a little inappropriate with the snowflake on his little rear end, but I think we're just going to have to go with it, and I'll have to fix it a different way because I think that's a tiny bit inappropriate. I want this straight is what I'm going for. I think my mom's laughing at me because I said that, because I said the snowflake was inappropriate. So maybe this will look better if I tuck a snowflake. And can you believe that we're not even finished yet? Okay. Okay, so how cute is this, you guys? Like, I just made this. Okay. So, now, of course, we need some bling. We need some glitter. We need more glitter. We need it all. I need it all. Okay, so in here, I have some of these from the Occasions catalog. These were our crystal, they're like iridescent. If the light catches them just right, you can see that they're sort of iridescent. And then, of course, I need some rhinestones. Oh, I don't have any rhinestones. How do I not have rhinestones? Don't I just have like one or two that I can get through this project? Nope. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. Rhinestones in the middle of the snowflakes for sure is a must. These are pretty big. I think this is like too big to, well, I guess it's okay. Okay, so you guys tell me, should I leave it? Like, is this enough? Or should I use some crystal drops? So I'm feeling like there's a lot going on. And maybe I should just leave it. But I'm also bling it up. Chris says enough. Bobby Ann says bling it up. Okay, so right now it's a tie. So Kayla says it needs more rhinestones and more glitter. So Kayla said to bling it up. Come on, guys, let me know. Bling it up or leave it. So far, Chris is losing. Anybody else think it's enough? Leave it. Okay, so Ashley says leave it. Oh, Emma says leave it. Oh, you guys. I don't know what to do. Okay, I think we're going to leave it. I thought about maybe, no, let's bling it up. I can't leave it. I can't leave it, you guys. I can't do it. I can't. It needs some more glitter. This matches pretty good with Tranquil Tide. This is Emerald City. So it matches pretty good. See, I just said on Wednesday, I think, I said, oh, I have enough Nouveau drops. I think it'll be fine. I don't think I'm going to get any more. I think I'll wait. And then I went to make this project and I was trying to find one that matched. And I was like, see, I do need all the Nouveau drops. I need all of them. So this should, I think what will happen is this will dry a little bit clear and it will just have the glitter. Okay, so did I go too far, you guys? What do you think? I'm probably going too far now, right? Like, stop. Just stop it. Okay, I'm actually not sad that I kept going. I don't think I ruined it too bad. So this is our card for today. This will need to dry. I will take photos and I will have a PDF for you guys today. I'm going to catch up on all of that, I promise you. PDF for Wednesday's project and then PDFs for today's project. And then my Hello Christmas week 2 will be up today. So do you guys want to see a sneak peek of what Hello Christmas week 2 looks like? I'm grabbing it. Don't worry, it didn't go anywhere. Kayla says add more. Kayla always says add more. Okay, so Hello Christmas week 2 is this really fun project. Now, I was texting Chris yesterday and I was like, I hate this. I can't do it. It's making me so angry. And she was like, take a breath. You're fine. But it's these. So these are so fun, you guys. They're like little ornaments for your Christmas tree. And I think what I'm going to do is for all of the kids first, I like to hand make something for our Christmas tree every year. So I've done this the last 4 years. So it's really fun when we pull out all the Christmas ornaments to have each year to have something that I've handmade. So this will be the one that I do for this year. But I was thinking a couple times for the kids for their class, I've made them ornaments to give out to all their classmates the last day of school. So they get little treats to give out. I always do treats, but we've made ornaments before. One year we collected mini, what are they called? Pine cones at my grandma's, and we put glitter on the ends, and then we wrapped those up and put little hooks on them, and that was one. One year Violet made salt dough, like where you make the dough and you bake it. And that's what she gave to her class. So I thought it would be so fun to do these for the kids and then put the kids' name on the tree, like in a banner. So here's one that has a doily on the back. So I'll have a video up that shows you how to make these. I just thought it would be fun to give you guys a sneak peek. So this one has the glitter present on it, and then these have trees on them. And then I also did this one. So this is done with that same tree die. And then it just has the thing there. So cute, right? So this will be up. I just have to edit the video. I've taken the photos. I've filmed the video. When I get done here, I'm going to edit it and then I'll put it up in a blog post and I'll share it with you guys. But these came out so cute. You could add snowflakes to them. I have this whole other thing that I want to do with these. So I'm probably going to be making these for days. A little snowflake on the top would be cute. It would be cute to layer snowflakes like this. The possibilities are endless with these guys, and they're so easy. They really are easy. They frustrate me at first, just trying to get used to doing them. But once I got used to it, they tended to go a little bit quicker. So anyways, that will be up a little bit later today for you guys. So I'll show you the card one more time. Thank you guys for all of your inputs on the different pieces of this. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I think it's cute. Lots of white space. The Tranquil Tide really makes it pop. So I love those. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And I will catch you later today when I post all of my stuff. And I'll be back next week, you guys, to hang out with you more. Have a great Friday.